Hi everyone, this is your host and your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers, and welcome to today's show, Letting Tapping Be Easy. So I'll give you a little background about why I decided to do this show, is that I often hear from people who I'm talking to, even sometimes clients, they'll say to me, I don't know what to say, or I'm not sure what to focus on, and so they don't tap. And I know that we just had the Tapping World Summit, that just happens to be the timing of this show, and many people have done days of tapping. And maybe you're new to it, or maybe you're just feeling overwhelmed. But even if you're a seasoned tapper, you may still get a case of the I don't know if I'm doing it right. And I want you to know I really do get it. That's why I did this show. So I'll give you a little background. When I first came to tapping, which was years ago, I know it seemed to me that everyone I saw was demonstrating tapping had these really great words, right? And I thought to myself, how the heck am I supposed to have these great words? Even if they said, tap and vent. And I know I'm guilty of that. I'm apologizing already to everybody. It's as if I froze, right? You forget. Sure, you can do that with a friend, but man, I feel really silly doing that with no one there, this venting thing. But I want you all to remember something, this little equation, and it adds up to a lot of different issues we have in our life. It's about procrastination, it's about sabotage, whatever it is. Here it is. This is what happens in the mind. If it feels bad, if it anticipates, if the mind calculates that it's going to feel bad, meaning I'm going to feel embarrassed, or I'm going to feel humiliated, or I'm going to feel downright stupid and ridiculous, then our mind is going to look for a way to protect us. And it's going to come up with a very simple solution. And that is to simply say, well then, don't do it. Stay away from that. And so that's exactly what we do. And when we feel or anticipate that tapping makes us feel stupid, or maybe it makes us feel ridiculous, we don't know what to do, and we've associated those feeling stupid with tapping, the mind says, put it off or don't do it. That's just its solution. And by the way, the mind might even make up some reasons to justify our actions. It might say things to us like, well, it doesn't really work, or it isn't going to work for me. And because our mind will do that, our mind wants us to stay away from things that it anticipates is going to cause us pain and angst and struggle. And that's what we're going to do on this call, so that you can set yourself up to stay in the game. That's at least what I call it, right? As I call it, staying in the game. And as you build successes, you're going to build trust in this process. And furthermore, you're going to build trust in yourself, which adds up to building confidence that you can handle stepping out into the world, and maybe even into the unknown, which is what I really like to encourage us, right? Is to get out of our comfort zones, expand our lives, which means moving into the unknown. And we want to do that by being able to make it easier instead of having to bully ourselves to do it, and tapping helps us do that. I also want to address that just tap on that statement. And again, I am guilty of saying that. I'll say to people, hey, that's a great issue. Why don't you just tap on that? But what does it mean when you hear someone say tap on that, right? That's just sounds like words to you unless you know what to do with it. So today is about getting easy with the tapping so that it becomes the most natural thing to grab anytime and any place. And here's how I'm going to do that. We're going to do some tapping right now. And here's why. You see, I've got you thinking right now, and as you've been thinking about this tapping issue, you've been asking yourself some questions. Questions like, do I feel comfortable tapping? Do I feel comfortable venting? How do I feel about that? Does this make sense to me? Sometimes we can respond to not knowing with a, you know what, okay, I'm listening, I'm going to learn something. And then sometimes we respond with, uh-oh, I don't know this. This makes me feel stupid. Now think about other places in your life where that may come up, right? It may come up in a work environment when somebody wants you to do something, or they ask for you to be responsible for a task that might be at work that you haven't done, or maybe you don't feel really confident about it. This is a feeling that might come up in building your business when it's okay, do something on your website, or get an affiliate program, or make a sales call. Anytime that we can get into this I don't know, that feels uncomfortable feeling. Remember, I'm going to remind you of this a lot. The mind says, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Avoid, avoid, avoid. And then we're trying to find ways to get around it. It's a pattern. This feeling is a pattern. I'm just using it for you right now as I talk about tapping, how that can come up. So even though this is a simple tapping, and I'm going to show you how to do it simply, it has a lot of other areas in your life where you can use it. So go back and think about that. I don't know if I'm doing it right, or if I've got the right words. Just that sense of I don't know. I don't know if I know. Feel that. What does it feel like? Maybe you've identified something else, some other place in your life where there's been something new and you get that I don't know feeling, and when you think about it, you can feel that there's some hesitation. So no matter what it is, think about it, feel it. Where do you feel it? Where do you feel it in the body? And then I want you to give it a number, right? Now let me say a little bit about the giving it a number. Just go with whatever number floats into your head. It's only for you. It's not like you're going to hold yourself up against a dozen other people and say, you said it was a 6, you said it was a 6. Is my 6 the same as your 6? It doesn't matter. It's only for you because you want to, at the end of the tapping, be able to see if something changed. So if it's a 6 for you and you tap and it becomes a 5, then change has happened. If it was an 8 for you, you tapped and it became a 6, it's not so much about the number as it is a way for you to be able to gauge. And remember, we're going to keep it super simple right now. So that's it. You want to notice how it feels when you think the thought. You want to think about where it is in the body and give it a number. And then we're going to go to the karate chop point, right side of the hand, and repeat after me. Even though I don't know how to do this, I don't get it, I'm willing to accept myself anyhow. Even though I don't know how to do this, and I feel it right there, I'm okay anyhow. Even though I don't know how to do this, and I'm probably the only one in the world, everyone else gets it, I'm open to changing that. And then we're just going to go through the points, and we're going to keep it really simple. Eyebrow. I don't know how to do this. Side of the eye. I really don't know how to do this. Under the eye. I don't get it. Under the nose. I don't know how. Chin. I can't figure it out. Collarbone. Everyone else probably gets it. Under the arm, but not me. Top of the head. I don't get it. Back at the eyebrow. I can't figure it out. Side of the eye. I feel it right there when I say those words. Under the eye. This is my I don't get it feeling. Under the nose. My I can't figure it out. On the chin. It doesn't feel good. Collarbone. I don't get it. Under the arm. But what if I could? Top of the head. What if I could? Take a breath. That's just 2 rounds. We kept it simple. We stayed with that. I don't get it. I can't get it. Think about it now. Feel it. Give it a number. What changes did you notice? And it doesn't have to be a big change. Did some memories pop up? And for right now, you can just acknowledge them. You can write them down for future work if you want. How about some beliefs? It's always a choice to take your work deeper. But what I also want you to know is that you don't have to do that right now if you don't want to. Sometimes we're shifting the energy so you can get a task done or take an action. Not everything needs to be on clearing up some past event. So here's how this might look. We start by doing some tapping on the feelings associated with tapping. And now hopefully you've got more space around those thoughts when you think about tapping. So here's how this might look. We started by doing some tapping on the feelings associated with tapping. And now hopefully you've got more space around those thoughts when you think about tapping. Now let's put it into use. This is the tap on that thing that you hear people say and you find yourself going blank on. Again, remember I said, oh, hey, tap on that. Why don't you just tap on that? And we look and we go blank, right? There's that, I don't know what that means. And by the way, can you see this pattern is already starting to show up when you feel like you don't know something? The avoid that solution. So here's where tap on that would come in, right? I said it, you hear it, and you notice the feeling. You feel it. Somebody said those words, and I just feel it. We'll call it avoid, just for our chance. We feel the avoid feeling. And this time, you're just going to start going through the points. We're not going to start at the karate chop point. And it's okay. Even though you've been taught to start at the karate chop point, you've seen demonstration after demonstration, all starting at the karate chop point, we are just going to tap through the points. Now I'm going to call them out for you, just because you can't see me. However, I want you to know when I'm working on my own and feelings come up for me or I'm trying to move past some resistance, I often just start by going through the points because I know I'm already in the file. I'm already feeling that thing. So let's get back to how it feels when you hear me or you say to yourself, hey, just tap on that. All right? Feel the feeling of that avoid, I don't know. Feel it coming up again. These are just different words, but notice it's the same feeling. And we're going to tap on it. We're going to keep it very simple. Eyebrow. Oh, no. Side of the eye. Here it is again. Under the eye. Just tap on it. Under the nose. I don't know what that means. On the chin. I don't get it. On the collarbone. This is that avoid feeling again. Under the arm. Just tap on it. Top of the head. What the heck does that mean? Back at the eyebrow. I still don't get it. Side of the eye. I'm still stuck. Under the eye. I still feel stupid. Underneath the nose. I want to avoid this again. On the chin. This is that avoid this feeling. Collarbone. Run away. Under the arm. I don't know how to do it. Top of the head. And I hate feeling stupid. Back at the eyebrow. I hate doing things I don't know how to do. Side of the eye. Oh, just tap on it. Under the eye. Like I'm supposed to know. Under the nose. I hate this feeling. On the chin. But I'm tapping on it now. Collarbone. And just to make it easier. Under the arm. I see it now. It's a pattern. Top of the head. I get that I want to avoid things that don't feel good. Back at the eyebrow. And now that I see it, side of the eye, I can tap on it. Under the eye. Give it a little room. Under the nose. Begin to get curious. Chin. I think I might be able to figure it out. Collarbone. I think I'm doing it right now. Under the arm. I am doing it right now. Top of the head. I'm letting it be easy to start the tapping. And just take a breath. This is a prelude action. You've noticed before you even did the task that you were feeling the feelings associated with a void, and now you took some action on it by first addressing the first feelings that showed up, which are I don't want to, I don't like this, avoid, 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 it doesn't feel good. You did that tapping, you got in front of those feelings. Now you can look at the task, you can say, I see I feel incompetent. This task is going to make me feel incompetent. I know how to handle that. I can keep it simple. I can just look at that task, tap through the points, saying, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. This is my avoid, get the heck out of town feeling. I don't know how to do it. Until it starts to feel calmer. Okay, so now let me dissect this process just a little bit. So what you do first is notice when you're feeling a feeling that is most likely less than joy. Ask yourself, where is it in the body? What's the number you would give it? And then you start by tapping about that feeling. Just the feeling itself. Maybe describe it. Maybe you're just watching it in your body. What is it saying to you? You know, if it had a voice, what kind of things would it say? And as you're going along, watch the next thought that comes up. Like maybe, as you're tapping on these things, all of a sudden you start feeling maybe this feels ridiculous, or maybe this can't be right. Just say them as you observe them. Just keep going around and around the points, through each point, tapping up and down the body. Many people at this point start to ask me, well, what about those positive rounds? When do you start adding in those positive rounds? And I say, if you're trying to go positive, you'll know it because the statements won't fit. So if I'm at an 8 or a 9, I've still got a lot of charge on something, and you try and throw a positive statement in there, it feels as if it's the wrong timing. I call it just doesn't fit. It doesn't stick. And I find that when you tap for the less than positive, that's what we're calling it. I hate calling it the negative because I don't really think it is the negative. What it is how we're feeling. We're just not putting a judgment on it. Then you're making room for the shift to happen. If you add that into the tapping, so add it into the tapping. When the heck is that positive going to come up? This is taking forever, right? You just acknowledge that those feelings are coming up. You bring them into the tapping. And then, as those anxious thoughts start to release, you'll open up the space for new ideas. And they will start popping up. Either you may start getting some new ideas that feel like you can actually contemplate them. Like, that actually feels good, like that fits. Or the other thing that could happen is that the thing you've been tapping on, it no longer feels like a big deal or an obstacle. It becomes kind of what we call neutralized. It's a non-thing anymore. I want you to think about tapping on that tap on it. Hear those words again. And how does it feel? So you may find that now you're feeling like I could do that, or maybe you're just feeling neutral. It's like I don't feel either way about it. That is great. Does it mean that you'll be tapping without resistance from now on? I don't know. I like to believe that it's always a possibility, maybe, but more importantly, do remember that what you're doing is breaking a pattern. And as you've already seen, even getting stuck in the I can't do it has an impact in other areas of your life. So when you make the tapping simple, you get past these little resistances, you release these little resistances, you're actually making big progress in other areas of your life, because not only have you allowed yourself to do some of the tapping, but you're breaking the patterns that show up around this I can't do it. Great job. Keep it up. I want to add to you, I know tapping can be relatively easy. It's easy to learn. You listen to it all the time. But there is a time and a place for working with somebody. Sometimes it's to take a deeper look at what's going on for you, and sometimes it's because some people have issues or events in their past life that would be really difficult for them to clear on their own. They need somebody who can help lead them through it and be there for them. That's what I'm here for, and I would love to do that work with you. I offer a 30-minute free consultation. All you need to do to set one up is email me at mary@tapintoaction.com, and we will set up a time for us to chat, and we'll figure out how I can be helpful to you. Thank you for being here. This is your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers. Stay brilliant.